Mr. and Mrs. Johnson had spent years raising their children, Emily and Michael, with love and devotion. From late-night diaper changes to helping with homework, and for years buying them every kind of video game that the children wanted. In short, they had done everything they could for their kids. Emily had become a successful dentist, and Michael was a computer engineer with a thriving company. Both had busy lives, big houses, and fancy cars. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were also getting older. Their backs weren't as straight as they used to be, their hair had turned white, and they were a bit forgetful. For example, Mr. Johnson once looked for his TV remote while his glasses were on his head. One day, Emily and Michael came to their parents' house. After a nice tea and cookies, Emily hesitated a bit and said, "Mom, Dad, we've made a decision." Mr. Johnson, a little worried, asked, "What decision, dear?" Michael continued, "Well, to be honest, we thought it was time for you to go somewhere better." Mrs. Johnson asked in surprise, "Better than here? What's wrong with this house?" Emily said with forced kindness, "No, Mom, I mean a good nursing home. It has all sorts of facilities. There's a nurse who will always take care of you. You'll make friends with other people your age." Mr. Johnson, who was slowly understanding what the children meant, gave a sad smile and said, "So you don't need us anymore." Michael said quickly, "No, Dad, that's not it at all. We'll always love you, but well, now we have our own lives, our jobs. You'll be most comfortable there." Mrs. Johnson, her voice breaking, said, "Comfortable when you're not with us?" A few days later, Emily and Michael took their parents to a stylish and clean nursing home. While they were arranging their things, Mrs. Johnson sat in a corner, crying softly. Mr. Johnson tried to be strong, but his eyes were also full of tears. When the children were saying goodbye, Mr. Johnson suddenly asked a question. "Kids, something just came to my mind. Back when you were little and got sick, we stayed up all night taking care of you. When you had exams, we made you warm breakfasts and saw you off at the door. And when you grew up and found jobs, whenever you were short on money, we lent it to you. Now that we're old and need a little help from you, you want to put us here?" Emily and Michael lowered their heads and said nothing. Mr. Johnson continued, "It's all right, kids. I just have one request for you. When you leave us here, keep that back room empty." Emily asked in surprise, "Why, Dad?" Mr. Johnson gave a sad smile and said, "Well, eventually you'll get old too, and maybe your children won't need you anymore either. You can come here then. Stay in that back room. After all, we'll have the experience. We'll know what a nursing home is like." Emily and Michael, feeling very ashamed by their father's words, looked at each other. A heavy silence filled the room. Then Michael said in a trembling voice, "Dad, we made a mistake." Emily, wiping away her tears, said, "Yes, Dad, we're not taking you anywhere. We'll come home, hire a nurse, and take care of you ourselves." Mr. and Mrs. Johnson looked at their children with happiness. They had finally understood that sometimes the only thing people really need is a warm home and a loving family, not a fancy nursing home full of facilities. Of course, this was a sad story with a somewhat sweet ending, but the reality is that we're not always this lucky. Sometimes that back room in the nursing home remains empty forever. And that's the saddest part of the story. By the way, don't forget to follow the Toxic City channel and watch their videos. Like them, because that's your biggest support for this channel. Until the next story, goodbye.